Welcome back to Family Bible Time. This week we will be doing a story on Cain and Abel. But first, let's start with the quiz.
What were the names of the two trees? Tree of life and tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What were the names of the first two humans? Adam and Eve. What was the name of the garden? Garden of Eden. Which tree did they get told not to eat from? Tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Which animal tempted Eve? Serpent.
So, it's now time for our story this week. Our story this week is from Genesis chapter 4, Cain and Abel. So, Cain and Abel were sons of Adam and Eve once they had left the garden. One day, Cain and Abel both brought their offerings to God, their gifts to God. Now Cain, he was a farmer of the ground. He had plants grow and grew fruit and vegetables and things like that. Whereas Abel was a shepherd. Abel looked after the sheep, he looked after all the animals that they had. And so when they brought their gifts forward, Cain brought forward some fruit and plants and things like that. But Abel brought forward his very best sheep. He brought forward his very best sheep and gave his best offering to God, his best gift to God. And God accepted only Abel's. And this made Cain very upset and very angry. God then spoke with Cain and asked him, "Why are you so angry? If you keep being angry, you will do bad things because it will taint your heart. It will make your heart go bad." Because he was feeling angry with God and angry with Abel and even a little bit jealous. Later that day, Cain went to Abel and said, "Let's go out to the fields." They went out to the fields to do the work that they needed to do. And during this time, Cain killed Abel. He ended up killing Abel. God then came and spoke to Cain and said, "Cain, where is your brother Abel?" Cain's response is, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Basically saying, "I don't know where he is, why would you ask me?" Even though he really did. God then said to him, "I know that Abel has died. The blood on the ground is calling out to me." And so Cain then admitted what had happened, and God already knew. God then punished Cain for his actions and said that you will be cursed, and he cursed Cain. Now Cain said, "Please just let me go and die." And God said, "Surely not, whoever kills you will be cursed as well." And so Cain had to wander the world by himself until he found a wife, being cursed. He found a wife and he had his own family, and we'll find out what happened to them next week when we explore the flood with Noah. And that is our story this week. So, what does this story mean? Why would God accept one offering but not the other? Why would God accept one gift but not the other? That's the question that I'd like to explore today. So, the key thing here is that Abel gave God his best. He gave God his very best of his animals, whereas Cain did not give him his best. He did not necessarily give him his worst, but he did not give him the best of his fruits, the best of his plants. And so the thing we can learn from this is that God wants us to give our bests to him. He doesn't want us to go in and just sort of be like, "Yay, God's here, yay." And he doesn't want us to be like, "Yay, God's here." He wants to be like, "Yeah, God's here. I want to worship God. I want to do things for God. I want to love God." And he wants us to get really excited and do our best for him. And that doesn't mean we will always get it right, because there are plenty of people throughout the Bible, as we'll explore through Family Bible Time, who were doing great things for God and trying to give their best for God, but still made mistakes. And there were people who were chosen by God who necessarily, if you looked at in society, if you looked at around you and if they lived around you, you'd think, why would anyone use them sometimes? Because they're not got any special gift. They're not great with public speaking. They're not great at doing things. But the key thing is, all the people that God used that people didn't necessarily think were anything special, their hearts were for doing stuff for God. They trusted God, they loved God, and they wanted to do what God wanted them to do. And so they were willing to give their best to God. And that's where we should be with our lives, is can we give our best to God?
I wonder what your favourite part of the story was. I wonder what your least favourite part of the story was. I wonder what we could take out of the story and still have the whole story. I wonder what your best is for God.
So our prayer activity this week is for you as a family to write down the good things about fire and the bad things about fire. So what are some of the good things that fire brings and what are some of the bad things that fire brings? Because fire is a little bit like the anger that Cain had about it, and that the jealousy caused his anger to happen. Anger isn't always bad. Anger can be a good thing because we can get angry about people being treated wrong, people being treated unfairly. However, if you get angry and it's from a place that you're not trying to defend people and you're not trying to change things for the better, where you want to just get revenge on someone, or you're feeling jealous towards someone and you want to get back at them, that's not the right kind of anger, and that can be a bad thing. So if we control our anger and we're good with our anger, then we won't be like fire, which at times can get really big and burn down forests. But fire can be really good for us. So once you've written down those things, the good things about fire and the bad things, I then want you to spend some time forgiving each other for the things that you have done that have angered each other. And spend some time as a family talking about those things that have made you angry so that you can come up with solutions for how to deal with them in the future. Secondly, I want you to spend some time with God, chatting with Him about what makes you angry and saying to God, I want help with my anger. Because we all get angry about things. And finally, you can catch from God about what you are to do when you feel angry about someone being mistreated. And that's the prayer activity this week. Slightly different and a little longer than probably normal. But I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me this week with Family Bible Time. The challenge is for us to give our best to God and to think about our anger, and is it just anger? Is it one that we're standing up for people who are being mistreated? And so, are you giving your best for God, and are you using your anger in the right way? Thank you for joining me this week with Family Bible Time. Hope you have a great week. Bye bye.